So the most desirable model of Charger to have was the RT model. Simply stood for road track. It was their high performance model. They made 17,000 of them. They came standard with the 440 cubic inch motor. And for $600, you could upgrade to the 426 Hemi. Might not sound like 600 is a lot of dollars nowadays, but back then the base price of the RT model was $3,500. So you added 20% onto your price tag just to get the 426 Hemi motor. They made 475 total with the 426 Hemi. Now, right now on eBay.com, there's an RT 426 Hemi Charger selling for $145,000 asking price. That's their asking price, the buy it now price. The bids are up to like $75,000. There's like 25 bids with 2 days left. So I'm watching that just because I'm really curious on how much it's actually going to sell for, or if it sells. The recession hit, and the price on muscle cars across the board went down. So, but back in 2006, when the muscle cars were at their peak, Barrett Jackson sold a 426 Hemi Charger at their Scottsdale, Arizona auction for $140,000. So, you know, they sold it for $140,000, prices dipped, and now we're kind of back up to our 2006 prices. Now, believe it or not, the rarest Charger was not one of the 475 RTs with the 426 Hemi. The rarest Charger there was one made. It came a base model Charger, had a slant 6 motor, a 3-speed column shift manual transmission, and they don't have any idea if it's still around, if it's in somebody's barn, somebody's got it squirreled away. I would give the 3 Chargers that I've owned in my life just to have that one, though, because of its rarity. So we're, on a side note, one time my buddy John and I were leaving a cruise in, and we're leaving, all the other muscle cars are leaving, and we're at the stoplight waiting for the freeway to get onto the freeway on-ramp, and this little late 60s Chevy Nova pulls up next to us. And I look over at him, he looks at me and gives me the head nod, and I'm like, oh geez, shouldn't have done that. I look up and hit race mode, stoplight turned into a starting tree. I'm sitting there waiting for it to turn green, look back over at him, and he's doing the same thing. Turns green, bam, I jammed the gas to the floor. We're flying up the on-ramp, look over at John, and he's got a big smile on his face. We hit about 40 miles an hour, my car shifts into second gear. I just kept my foot very clear to the floor, and it squirts sideways, the tires squealing. Look over at John, and his smile's kind of turned into a grimace. You know, I just keep my foot down, and we hit about 60 miles an hour as we come to the top of this on-ramp, and the car shifts into third as we hit 60. Squirt sideways again. I look over at John, and his grimace has turned into a look of terror, and he's holding the seat in the window. And we get up to about 80 miles an hour, and I let off the gas and slow back down to the freeway speed. Look back over at John. He's still got that look on his face, and he looks over at me. I guess that guy's not going to be so dumb next time. Look in my mirror, and he's nowhere to be found. So that was kind of fun. Question I want to pose to you, though, is would the iconic chase car of the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen been as sinister if it hadn't have been the 1968 Charger, sitting there with its Coke bottle shape, its recessed headlights, its new design, the low rumble of its V8? I don't think it would have. I've enjoyed sharing my favorite car with you today. Hopefully I've brought up some points that will make it one of yours.